the locations, usually the logic comes from where do the planes fly and at what frequency, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a pretty good idea of where everybody goes. And when I'm in a foreign country, when I'm in Namibia, Botswana, or anywhere in the world, I always look out the window. Is there another airline? Where does this airline come from with a little sun on the tail? So the logic comes from a lot from the airlines where the planes go, because we need to keep going. That's number one. Number two, we go to places where we like to go to. I don't like to go to places that I don't want to go to. There's a lot of places you cannot go to. West Africa is almost not possible, starting in Zaire all the way to the sub-Saharan countries. Not quite possible. We were in Burkina Faso, but you can't go there anymore. East Africa is very difficult. Certain parts in the Stans, Uzbekistan, all those countries, a little tricky. So what is left over is really most of South America, except for Colombia, South America, and then certain parts of Africa. Europe, you can go anywhere. Northern Europe, Russia, fantastic place. And then Asia, there's a lot of great places.
Really, we put a map out in front of us and say, where have we been recently? Where do we still want to go? And what places would be great, new, and promotable?
And what can we afford?
And many times if we're going to go to places that we know are more expensive, we'll pick a few that we know would be less expensive to produce. And we also like to put them in different climates. So if we get a cold climate, maybe the next place they land in is going to be hot. So we're constantly throwing them off to keep them like, oh, I can't believe it's freezing here, it's cold, or it's wet. So just a variety of places.
And they can never figure out where they're going, because we also put visas in their passport. That throws them off. So otherwise they could kind of predict where we go.
Have you ever had to change a location for security reasons?
Not for security reasons, but for weather. We had a couple of unbelievable Central American horrible storms that we had to change.
We also had one we were supposed to go to Laos a few seasons ago, and they had a monsoon come through. Literally, we were filming. It was about a show and a half coming up. And we literally had to put a show together in the country we were going to. We added another show. Now, the nice thing about when we don't scout for just one show. So if we see other things that we like, they're always in the back of our mind somewhere on the back burner. So at that point, I remember we split up. I'm always with the team usually when we're filming, but because of this, I jumped ahead because we knew we couldn't go to Laos. And I think we were in Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
And I started scouting some of the places that he had looked at. And so by the time he landed, he started scouting, I was scouting. We met at the end of the day. The teams were coming in the next morning. We put the show together, and they did everything the next day as if...
And we almost duplicated the show that we were going to do in Laos with elephants and a river and the whole thing. We found all this stuff. But it's weather has made it difficult for us sometimes.
But that's where the experience of our team and working with local facilitators that now we've worked with over the last 10, 11 years, they know what we need, they know the people to put in place, and everybody knows the speed at which we need to work.
Is it difficult to get permission to shoot in all these locations?
No, it's we have a long history with all these governments, and they know that my philosophy has always been, if I go to another place, I go there as a guest. I don't go there as taking over the place, and they know that I will honor their habits, their culture, their religion, the whole thing. If there's anybody says we don't want you to do that, we don't do it. I mean, why? I'm doing reality television. I can change things. So people know we're not there to nail them for stuff, or we're not investigative journalists. No, we're doing an entertainment show. So people know it's good for them actually to be on The Amazing Race.
Many tourism boards now come to us and say, please come to our country, because ultimately it's a 1-hour commercial for whatever country we're going to. I got calls from American ambassadors from around the world say, oh, you should come to my country where I'm the ambassador,